let's look at the translations that happened during the American colonial period and why we can say that translations as a craft or as a kind of work was complicit in the colonization of the Philippines. So President William McKinley, who was then, president of the United States, he actually instructed researchers and academicians to publish books and documents about the Philippines. So, in so what happened was there were two people, Emma Blair and James Robertson. And what they did was they translated the documents of the Spanish archives into English. And this was from the period 1903 to 1907. The translations, if you look at them in total, they were able to produce 55 volumes. And these documents from the Spanish archives range from 1493 to 1803. Now, Gloria Cano did a study of this work by Blair and Robertson, and she entitled her essay Blair and Robertson's The Philippine Islands, Scholarship or Propaganda. Okay, so, and according to Cano, and this, I quote from her essay, she said, the Philippine Islands by Blair and Robertson actually fostered the construction and spread of factual inaccuracies and deep-seated but mistaken assumptions about Spanish rule. And she also pointed out that there were many mistranslations in this text. Okay, so this is just a photograph of the Philippine Islands. So Cano, as I was saying, was very critical of these translations by Blair and Robertson. Now, let's move on to contemporary translations, because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to look at the history of translations. So, first, you have what we call academic translations. Okay? So, works that are what? Works that are studied in colleges and universities. Second, you have official projects by the Language Commission. So, the Language Commission asks writers or translators to do these translations of works. Third, publishing houses. Fourth, as part of the Pantayong Pananaw framework. And fifth, as part of the underground work of the National Democratic Front. So I will talk about all five. Okay, so first, let's talk about the National Commission on Culture and the Arts. So this was Republic Act 7356. And with this Republic Act, the National Commission on Culture and the Arts was established. And according to this Republic Act, the NCCA should vitalize and monitor a comprehensive translation program in order for work written by Filipinos and other choice foreign classical texts to reach Filipino and foreign readers. So what are we saying here? We're saying that there is an official government program so that foreign classical texts can be translated into Filipino, and for works by Filipinos to be translated into English so that it can reach larger audience. However, what are the problems according to Leo Safra? And Leo Safra is a scholar and a professor at the University of the Philippines. According to Safra, there is an absence of a full-scale organized concern and clear direction in the field of translation. Second, translation is done individually by teachers and graduate students. Third, bibliography can be developed further. Task of collecting translations, there's a huge task of collecting translations to be disseminated. And finally, seminar workshops should be supported by a definite program. So that's what Safra was saying about the National Commission on Culture and the Arts. However, there are 3 successful programs. What are these programs? First, you have the Panitikan or literature series, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit. The Solidarity Translation Series, and this is from some funding that the Solidaridad Bookstore was able to get so that they can publish their own translation series. And third is a project called Aklatang Bayan, or Books for the People project, or Books for the Country. So it depends on how you would translate the word bayan, because as you may know by now, bayan can mean people, bayan can mean country, bayan can mean town.